Welcome back to the channel, adventurers. It's been a while, but you're back with Gamer for Fun. I'm Chad, and today we are going to be starting our legendary journey through the world of Eye of the Beholder. Now, originally, this game was released on the Commodore Amiga way back in 1990-91 time frame. It also was released on DOS, and there's been a couple port overs as well to I think even Sega and Super Nintendo Entertainment System got a version of this. But in this case, we're going to be playing the DOS box version. In fact, I purchased the game on GOG, good old gamers, and it is available on Steam as well, the entire trilogy. Now, where you buy it, it doesn't matter, but it's always on sale. If you do a quick search for Gold Box Classics, you're going to find it on either Steam or GOG. All right, now, to get back into it, we're going to kick it off here. Get my DOS box started. There's going to be some music when we start up. Here we go. The old classic Amiga music. Now, let's just flip it over to the screen here. And I apologize if I'm a little rusty when I'm playing this one. I've got, there's a lot going on the screen here at any given time. So, let me hit the old keyboard here. We will now, because I'm gonna add in a couple other features to this game. I've already got a party started. Let me just show you real quick the party here, the basics. Excuse me. I always struggle with names, so if you're wondering if there's anything behind any of these names, the answer is no. So here we've got our paladin, lawful good, human female. I rolled stats. When I rolled the stats, I was mostly going for the hit points. There is a mechanism in Eye of the Beholder, and pretty much all the gold box games, that you can modify any of these attributes: strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. You can modify any of those. Back in the day, 80s, 90s, a lot of people were playing the tabletop versions, and still do. Absolutely, there's a huge following. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind getting into it again as well. I say again as well. But anyways, getting off topic here. The reason that you can do that was the developers said, well, why don't we modify or allow players to modify their characters in game so that they could match the characters they play on table. So that was kind of the thought process behind that. A lot of people use those to min-max their skills, like maximum strength, 18-100 or 19-20 for fighters. I mean, you can go ahead and do that. It doesn't detract from the game. It just makes things a little bit easier, obviously. I'm specifically talking for Eye of the Beholder series. Now, you can see here little Brian is a multi-class fighter thief, chaotic good, dwarf male. His experience, of course, gets split between the levels. I'm not going to go into a lot of the D&D mechanics, especially in this first episode. However, just know that if you've got a multi-class, like my good friend Cedric here, cleric mage, and I am going to mispronounce a lot of these words. Make no mistake, this will be a femininology situation here where I'm mispronouncing everything as we go. But it's all for fun, right? So here we got cleric mage, chaotic good, half-elf male. You can see he, being a cleric mage, favors intelligence and wisdom over, say, charisma or strength. And Chris, one more. Just a straight up cleric, chaotic good, elf, female. Now, in the AD&D world, especially 2nd edition, which is this game is based on, I do not believe the elf race can be resurrected. So if Chris ends up taking a mortal wound, she will be out of the game. So, and that's the point. I want to take these characters from episode 1 right to episode 3. All right, and we're back to Bella here. Okay, so let's take a look at their inventory. They start off with some basic stuff. This is kind of a cool feature here. This little plate up here with the knife, fork, and spoon, I assume. Kind of looks garbled on my version here, but yeah, knife, fork, spoon, plate right here where the cursor. Oh, you can see the cursor. Perfect. This is food, iron rations. You take the food, you drop it in here. You can see the food bar is steadily descending as the adventure goes on. Over here, we've got a quiver of arrows. If you pick up arrows, drop them in here. They just get added there. Ideally, this is headwear, like a helmet, crown, whatever. This spot here is for a necklace, that kind of thing. Obviously, primary hand, secondary hand. We got a belt over here with these 3 items that can be in your belt, so that when you say, this will come into play for, let me swing over to the back row here. Back row, front row, we got to get to that. We'll get to that in a second. But if you're throwing stuff, if you have a throwing weapon, that's what I'm getting at. If, say, you have a rock. Actually, we can demonstrate this right now. Look at this. Here we go. Let's toss that. So this rock is in our hand. This rock is in our belt. Let's swing back to the old thing here. Oh, click on the character picture to get off. Now, to throw this rock, I right-click it to interact with this. To swing this weapon up here, I right-click it. Since there's nobody in front of us, we're missing. You can see as I right-click these, I punch. Now, you'll notice in the back row, can't reach. So the top 2 characters are front row. I assume standing side by side, left, right. These guys are immediately behind them. Cedric and Chris are in the back row. They can't be immediately hit by monsters or creatures or other people when we're facing them. All right, a couple of mechanics there. Now, getting back to throwing rock. So I will right-click to throw the rock. Throws it. I don't know if you saw the animation, but it hit these pile of rocks and dropped. You'll notice the rock came from the belt back into the hand. So it's almost like a reload kind of thing. I throw the next rock. My hand is now empty. And Bella is just basically at this point punching and giving hand gestures to creatures. Now, because these guys in the back can't actually swing a weapon, check this out. So I gave Chris the rock. So now Cedric, of course, looks like he's holding a mace here. He can't reach, but Chris, on the other hand, can throw a rock. Okay? There we go. So Chris just threw 2 rocks. And what it will do, you left click to pick up. You can drop it right into the hand. However, you can't drop them into both hands. So we've got to go to the character sheet, drop it into the belt. There we go. What else? Right off the bat, basics. Oh, these little tiny boxes, these are rings. You can find rings and put them on your finger, on your primary hand, which is then connected there. Pretty cool, eh? The cleric holy symbol. If you want to cast spells as a magic user, you need either the spell book in your hand, which I can right click, or a holy symbol if you're a cleric You right click, it pulls up the, in this case, the cleric's access to their spells from their deity. And, oh, how do I get out of it? Abort. There we go. Abort. Same with Cedric here, being a magic user. He has access to his magic user spells, okay? Cedric is also a cleric, so for him to use his cleric spells, he has to have his holy symbol available or the book available. Now, actually, yeah, Cedric may as well do that. Actually, technically, if I was really smart about this, I would do something like this here, so that both my characters in the back row have got rocks to throw. These guys have their primary weapons, which this looks like kind of an axe, and this is a sword of some kind, short sword. Let's just pick it up, short sword. Throughout the game, we're going to be finding different stuff, different weapons. As you can see, I just picked up 2 rocks, so we're already making progress. The cool thing, okay, so that's kind of these mechanics about these people. Their character sheet is the page back over here. Can flip to a new character. Very cool. Right here, you can see food is dropping. And I think I just got a notice that my headset is about to headset is about to die. So we'll just keep hopefully trucking. Looks like it's still recording. Okay, we got a little bit more to get through here before we can actually get into the game and get playing here. Well, technically we're in the game, but you know what I mean. All right, a couple more controls. So we've got a compass here, and we've got these little six directional buttons here. I can either click on them or I can use the keyboard. If I click on them with the mouse, you can actually see which direction I'm going. If I just use the keyboard, you're gonna not know what the heck I'm doing here, right? I could have the mouse over here and be moving with the keyboard. Pretty basic stuff. I don't know why I'm explaining it, but it's on the screen, so here's what it does. All right, these are cool. These change your facing. You kind of turn to the left. Notice the compass is moving. Turn to the right. Compass is moving. Now, the compass, if you're just a first-time player of Eye of the Beholder, the compass is huge in this game. There's going to be spots where you're walking around. This is a dungeon crawler, so you're in a dungeon. And there's going to be spots where you're walking around and all of a sudden you're like somewhere else. Or you stepped on a plate and you've fallen through a spot and you've maybe changed direction. So the compass actually is very significant and taking up a huge amount of space, almost like, I would say 1/6. Not a quarter of the screen, of this visual screen, I mean, but about 1/6 of the visual screen. I would say it's significant, right? Okay, what else can we discuss here? There's going to be stuff you can interact with on the wall. You just left click it. If you're using keyboard only, I honestly don't know the keyboard only command, so you're on your own for that. Can't go through the rock pile. I'll just click on camp here. This is where you can do your basic stuff. Camp, you have game options. Load game, save game, drop character, quit game. Eye of the Beholder 1 only has a single game slot. So you definitely want to make sure you don't save. If poor Chris dies and we have to accidentally reload, we want to make sure that that we've got a proper game save. Okay. Preferences. Tunes on. It's either that or I talk the entire time, which I'm okay with. I'm going to probably do that anyway, but there's going to be times where there's a couple tunes, sounds. Same thing. When the sounds are on, you actually hear monsters and stuff cruising around, or you hear like cool little effects. And there's some other stuff in the game that is critical that you hear those sounds. All right? Bar graphs are for the hit points. To start the game off, I kind of like the bar because your hit points are so low. Like look at poor Cedric. 11 of 11. He's almost the Walking Dead here, okay? Some of these creatures hit pretty hard. So at the start of the game, I kind of like to have the visual that, oh man, he's taking damage and boom, 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 it's going down, right? But later on, we're going to flip it over. And also, I'm going to explain why Bella, even though we've just started the game, Bella has 23 of 24 hit points. I'm going to explain that in a couple minutes here. Okay, so we'll leave it on for we'll leave the bar graphs on, but the numbers on for now. Okay, memorize spells. So, memorize spells. Magic users need to memorize spells. In case you're just new to the AD&D world, one, where have you been? Probably all your life. AD&D has been out since the late 70s, early 80s, where it gained quite a popular following. So, but back to it, magic users, you need to memorize spells. And to do that, you simply go to camp, you hit memorize spells. It pulls you up which character is a magic user, in this case Cedric. I'm saying give me 2 magic missiles. Being a level 1 character, you only have limited spells available. You can see, oh, these numbers up here are your spell levels. So you can have up to 5 spell level spells. If I don't like my selection, I hit clear and it gets reset. Now, if I actually have already got spells memorized and I hit camp and I just want to gain 1, it's going to say like 1 of 2 or 2 of 3 or whatever, right? You get what I'm saying. All right, level 2 spells. Even though I know how to cast M's Acid Arrow, this is Melf's Acid Arrow, by the way. That's the other thing about this game. If you don't have the manual or the clue book, it's like, well, what the heck does shield do? I don't know. You click on it, you don't know what shield does. So you need to either read the manual, you need to read the clue book, or you need to know Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd level or 2nd edition. Because there is no help. What does Shocking Grasp do? You know, you're on your own for that. I'm not going to go in and explain any Dungeons and Dragons stuff because 1, I would just make a fool of myself, and 2, there's way smarter people and resources out there than me. So for now, Magic Missile, he's in the back row. Magic Missile is his spell of choice for level 1. Okay, we'll exit that. Clerics, you pray for spells. Select the character from your party who would like to pray for spells. Okay, so you can see we actually have 3 cleric characters. The paladin is included in that. Paladin doesn't get spells until much higher levels. So for now, we're going to ignore that. Chris, though, on the other hand, has got... Oh, wow. Okay. Chris, being a straight up cleric, has got a ton of spells. So we are going to spread the love around. We're going to get Bless, a couple Cure Light Wounds, and a Protect Evil. Okay. Level 2 spells. There's spots where we're definitely going to need Slow Poison, which is awesome that it's a level 2 cleric spell. But for now, we're going to go Aid. Okay. So just double check, and sometimes you just double check these other levels because sometimes your character is advanced and all of a sudden you have level 3 spells available and you don't know about it and you forget about it. And you pay your cheap hotel bill in the game Neuromancer, which is probably going to pull some of those maneuvers off here pretty quick. Now, poor Cedric, being multi-class, his experience gets split between his classes, so he doesn't quite have level 2 spells yet for a cleric. So he is basically going to grab 3 Cure Light Wounds and 1 Bless, okay? Make sure that 0-4 remaining, we're going to exit that. Now, you're like, okay, I'm ready to battle. Let's do this. Exit. Your party needs to rest to gain spells. So, in Dungeons and Dragons, you can't just say, hey, give me that spell, and boom, you got it. You actually have to prepare, you got to memorize, you got to do all sorts of stuff. Not even a cleric gets them immediately, right? So, this is where you rest the party. All right, so just double check. Ready to go. We've got our spells picked out. We are now, oh, scribe scrolls. Sorry, I may as well be complete. Scribe scrolls. So you're going to find parchments in the dungeon, okay? Or just buy them from stores in a regular AD&D game or whatever, right? You're going to get parchments that contain new spells for your magic user. When you find them, you then click scribe scrolls. Once you get these scrolls, your magic user has to read them and understand them before you can actually use them. So it's not like, hey, give me that Melf's Acid Arrow. It's like, no, you have to put in the effort. You got to put in the time. You got to actually learn the instructions on how to do that. So you can't just be like, boom, I'm going to go for it, right? And get the spells. You can't just buy them. Well, I mean, sorry, you can buy them, but you then have to memorize them. And actually, the reason why I say this is if, as a magic user, your intelligence is too low, you actually can't read and understand certain spells. Okay, so as a magic user, that's why you need your intelligence to be higher than normal. You're not a fighter, so your strength 11 is actually quite high for this magic user. But intelligence has definitely got to be high. Okay? That's what that's about. Okay, those are the basics. The quick little run through here. Oh, now that we've learned the spells, let's just try them out. So I will right click the book. Boom. I've got 2 magic missile spells ready to rumble. Okay. Same with the old paladin. Look at that. I've got 2nd and 3rd level spells. So I can cast Aid. I can cast Bless, Cure Light Wounds, Protection from Evil, all that good stuff. Okay. So technically we're ready to go here. So in the interest of time, I've got some really other cool features here. Man, we haven't even touched the surface here of all the awesomeness that we're going to do here. However, I think when you're in camp, I don't even think the game pauses when you're in camp, to tell you the truth. It must, but you know what? I'm not 100% sure it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here. We've gone through a lot of the intro on Eye of the Beholder, and this is gonna be a pretty epic trilogy that we're gonna play. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna overtalk on a lot of it, which is why I don't have background music going. And yeah, I'm really excited for this new adventure, and I hope you join along. This has been episode 1. I'm Chad. This is Gamer for Fun channel, and we are about to start the trilogy of Eye of the Beholder with Eye of the Beholder. All right, I'll see you again real soon. Thanks.